This becomes so familiar when we begin the practice to tune in to our surroundings and then to notice what's happening inside of us. Notice the internal environment, if there's a lot of calm, if there's a lot of agitation, or if there's a racing mind or some quiet. Our experience always changes day to day. And then when we tune in and notice what's happening inside, we also have the opportunity to allow it to be just as it is. So often we're not very happy with what we find. Very understandably, if we're in pain or if there's contraction or a lot of thoughts in the mind or something like that, it's not a very pleasant state. So it's quite natural to want to avoid that. And in the practices, we're going right into it. It's a bit counterintuitive. And yet we all know that avoiding doesn't actually work. Acknowledge that. Acknowledge your own experience as we begin the practice. And tune into your body for a moment. Notice the physical elements of the body, the way you're seated or if you're lying down. Notice where your body's connecting with the environment around you. A chair, the floor, the bed. Notice the sense perceptions of texture and touch and temperature. And scan for any tightness or contraction in the body that you could allow to release. We'll go through the body again in a little bit more detail. But often our attention is drawn to the tight places. And notice the quality of your breathing pattern. The most relaxing breathing pattern is continuous and even, about the same length of the exhale and the inhale. It's diaphragmatic, it's full through the nose. Take a few deeper breaths. Let your lungs fill with air and then let them empty. And notice your mind, the thoughts that are in your mind. During the practice, we try to focus on the practice. And of course, the momentum of the mind will carry us into its thought process as well at times. So we practice concentration, and then we practice this patience and practical attitude around the mind. The mind does that, and then we bring it back to what we're focusing on. And then it goes off again, and then we bring it back. That's the way the mind works, that layer of the mind. Very, very much affected by what's going on in our lives, what's happening in our nervous system, has a lot of momentum. It's just the way the mind works. This element of acceptance and also of intention that we're working with our mind right now. We're honing that skill of concentration.